All right, friends, in studio with us, coming to us live from Bismarck, North Dakota, we have Nancy Willis of the North Dakota Association of Realtors. Nancy, good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. Good morning.
Hey, excellent. Tell us what life is like in Bismarck right now, because we're in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Bismarck, are you heavy laden with snow? Are things high and dry? What are things like there?
They've been high and dry. We're supposed to get some snow starting a little bit later today, but
hmm
so far we haven't gotten it yet.
Well, and Nancy, what's your role with NDAR, the North Dakota Association of Realtors? What is it that you do, and how long have you been doing that?
I am the Government Affairs Director. I've been doing it for 4.5 years. And what I do as Government Affairs Director is I keep track of all state and federal legislation and make sure that our members are updated on what's happening and that there is nothing that is going through on the federal level with the help of NAR or on the state level when I am lobbying at the Capitol that would hurt the real estate industry or homeowners or property rights.
So you have a pretty big job, is that right? I mean, you're in charge of protecting literally every homeowner across the entire state.
That's true. You can look at it that way.
And right now we have seen a shakeup. We've seen some things here on a national level. We've seen this new tax bill that has been pushed through. What in the world does that mean for homeowners? Because I think there's some changes that people need to take note of.
Well, first I'll say that the National Association of Realtors and all of the realtor members across the country worked really hard to make sure that the final tax bill was really not bad for homeowners. Some of the original proposals would have been devastating for homeownership, but we were successful in making sure that a lot of the things that homeowners currently are able to access, they're still able to access.
And what do you mean by that,
So,
Nancy? Break that down
well,
into layman's terms.
okay, so for example, the mortgage interest deduction. Um, the deductible on the mortgage debt was at $1 million, and there was discussion about taking that down to $500,000. After a lot of wrangling between the House and the Senate, they actually agreed to $750,000.
Okay.
So $750,000. So although we lost a little bit on that, homeowners can still, for the most part, take advantage of that mortgage interest deduction up to that $750,000.
Now there can't be an obscene amount of people with homes worth over 750, right?
No, in North Dakota, we would have very few. In some of the higher priced home states like New York, New Jersey, California,
Sure.
some other states back east, there might be some homeowners that are affected, but I think I saw a number of 17%. So it's a relatively small number.
That's actually higher than I expected it to be, and yet I know that I have some friends out in California and New York where the average sales price is over $1 million. So I suppose that
Right.
their reality is a little different than our average sales price here of about $230,000.
Right. And interestingly, I was listening to somebody talking about this, and they were saying that it actually might cause some people to move to states where the price of housing is not so high. So
Ah,
we may see some people moving to North Dakota,
well, we'd love to
um,
have them.
yeah, if they want to have a better tax benefit.
Right. Folks just tuning in on the phone with us here, we have Nancy Willis with the North Dakota Association of Realtors, and we're talking about the tax bill that has now made its way to us. Nancy, what are some other changes for homeowners that we need to be aware of?
Well, on the capital gains, and by that I would say that if you have a capital gain or a profit from the sale of your house, currently, if you had lived in your house for at least 2 of the past 5 years, you can deduct up to $250,000 from taxes, or up to $500,000 if you're married or filing jointly. It depends on your income bracket. And there was some discussion about taking that away, but that actually remained the same.
I know
So
that,
that was a big win for homeowners.
and that was something that was shaking things up for realtors, especially people with investment properties. We were hearing and getting
Absolutely.
calls all the time of folks who were so anxious about that. And you're telling us now that that is no longer a part of the bill.
That's correct. They left it out. It didn't change, so it remains the same as it has been.
Oh, that is great news for anybody out there who owns some investment properties, and I'm one of those. So hallelujah, I'm thrilled about that one.
Yeah, that was a win for all the work that we did in talking to our congressional delegation.
Nancy, are there any changes that you would view as a negative change from this tax bill, or something that's going to impact homeowners maybe in more of a deficit than a gain or a maintain even?
Well, there are a couple of things. Currently, if you are moving because of work, you are allowed to deduct 100% of your moving expenses. That was taken away.
Oh,
So you no longer can deduct your moving expenses unless you're a member of the armed forces. If you're in the military, then you can still deduct those, but if you're not, then you can't.
okay.
So for some people, obviously that's, going to hurt them.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, man, moving expenses, if you're moving, we have lots of Microsoft clients here, for example. And if
Right.
you're moving from Fargo to Seattle, those moving expenses are literally tens of thousands of dollars when it comes to getting all your stuff out west.
Right. So that no longer is deductible.
Well, son of a gun.
The other thing that changed too is the final bill repealed the deduction for interest paid on home equity debt, and that'll be through December of 2025. So the way that works is you still can deduct the debt of home equity loans. So if you take out a second mortgage
Mm-hmm.
on or you extend the mortgage you already have, you still can deduct that. But if you are taking out a line of credit that's secured by your home, you no longer are able to deduct
So
the interest on that.
there are some things that are going to negatively affect homeowners and people who are moving, but for the most part, the bill wasn't a loss. Is that a fair assessment?
I would say that's true, and for many homeowners, it'll be a gain. Partly because the standard deduction was doubled, and so they'll have more money in their pocket. And we can hope that what they'll do with that additional money is use it for a down payment or to look at purchasing a home. For a lot of first-time home buyers that might be having trouble getting that down payment together, that extra money from that additional standard deduction might be what helps them to buy their first house.
Sure.
Well, so that is a good thing.
Well, Nancy, I sure appreciate the work that you do to protect the homeowners of the state and to put up the good fight for us. So thank you for that. If people want more information on this tax bill, where can they go?
I would encourage them to go to the website of the National Association of Realtors. If they just Google National Association of Realtors, the website will come up.
Perfect.
And they've got a lot of information, and they also have scenarios where they show different salary ranges and different homeowner statuses to show you how you benefit from the new tax bill.
Okay, great. Well, Nancy, sure appreciate you being on air with us. Nancy Willis with the North Dakota Association of Realtors. Folks, in the meantime, let's go to livefargomoorhead.com right now. We can help you out with any question you may have, and if we don't have the answer, I promise you we'll be resourceful enough to get it. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.